Yucky Blucky Fruitcake came from Junie B. That's like my favorite book ever. I just loved how vulgar and rude Junie B. was in that book. And she didn't even realize it. She wasn't conscious of it. The rudeness, the vulgarness, how blunt she was in that book, it feels just like the actual song, the energy and tone of the song. Even just the name, Yucky Blucky Fruitcake, is just like childish and nasty, and I just love it because I feel like my song feels childish and nasty. I was struggling in New York. I just felt like a little bit blocked creatively. I really just felt the responsibility to be as honest and as vulnerable as possible. I had a habit of dressing up or filtering who I was to make it more digestible for people, which in turn was making my music not as honest or as vulnerable as it could be, and it wasn't resonating. I really just wanted to try being extremely vulnerable and saying my life exactly how it was, not exaggerated, not underplayed. The process of writing was very nerve-wracking and scary. I was like going through lyrics like, nah, I can't say that. That's weird. Like, that's a little awkward, whatever. But once I got past that first verse, I was like, oh, let's go. Hi, my name's Iamdoechii with 2 eyes. I feel anxious when I'm high. Iamdoechii with 2 eyes, my name. I've had that name since I was in the 6th grade. I got bullied a lot growing up. As a defense mechanism, I just came up with another alternative identity that I wanted to go by, that I used just to defend who people were trying to say that I was, things that they were saying to bully me. I just wanted to combat that. Honestly, it was just like this era where everybody was like, I am. And I was like, I am. Teachers say I talk too much. Mama say I don't talk enough. Around the time that I was getting bullied, my mom was always encouraging me to just speak up for myself, defend myself and be confident. When I would be at school, like, I was super talkative, and not that I was talkative to like a bunch of friends. I just was the weird girl who was just talking to themselves and like doing random shit at my desk. I couldn't sit still. So I would get in trouble a lot in school, and my teachers would always say I was talkative. But my mom, in a way, like, would be like, the stuff that you really should be saying, like standing up for people, you're not speaking up in a different way, a deeper way. In the dark, I'm like a torch. From the hood, I hop the porch. I don't bang or slang on gang, but my dad keep them things. In this line, I'm talking about my experience growing up in Sulphur Springs. That's an area in Tampa that is, pretty rough. I always felt like, even though I lived in the hood, I never felt like I was really of the hood. So I was in that environment, but I never really was culturally accepted, at least not until a while. It took a minute. Speak up. Speak up. Speak up. Speak up, I'm actually speaking from my mom's perspective. I just always heard her, in my head, like, just speak up, speak up in many different ways. Speak up in your actions, speak up in your career, speak up for yourself. Just speak up, be confident. I get a little violent when I play the game of tag. I get a little quiet when I think about the bag. I slob when I sleep and I wake up with a drag. I'm pulling out my teeth, so I wake up to the cash. This line is both metaphorical and it's also kind of literal. Yes, I was really rough, growing up. I don't know, just always been like that. But it's also kind of like a play on words, in a sense where I'm literally playing tag with the bag and I get violent. Like, I take my money seriously. I take my craft seriously, so don't play with it. This is who I am, from the back to the front. I never had to pay for my schoolhouse lunch. My mama used stamps when she needed a little help, but a nigga made do with the cards been dealt. These lines I feel really proud about. This is a part of like my childhood that I'm really, and my upbringing that I'm very, very proud of. My mom has done her best. I never missed a meal. I had clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, and I watched my mom do whatever it took to take care of me and my sisters. And so that's really just me paying homage and showing honor to my family and our way of survival. I try to act smart because I want a lot of friends. I never really went with the flow of the trends. I think I like girls, but I think I like men. Doechii is a dick. I never fit in. I'm basically having this dialogue with myself. Me coping with the fact that I didn't quite fit in, I went through 2 phases. The first phase was I tried to fit in. I was doing everything I could to overcompensate for the fact that I didn't feel like I could make friends or I could win. So I was trying to win people over. And then I got to a point where I was like, fuck that. This is hard. It's tiring. It's not going to work. And I really don't care because I don't even like them anyway. Overly cocky. I'm hyper ambitious. Me. Bitch, I'm narcissistic. Growing up, I definitely had narcissistic characteristics. Period. It is what it is. Even today, like, I find myself having like a sense of narcissism, especially like when it comes to my craft and just certain aspects of my life, which I try to be mindful of, but it's just true. That's just me being honest. The overly cocky line just falls right after Doechii is a dick. That's just like smart thinking. I am a Black girl who beat the statistics. Fuck the opinions and all the logistics. Growing up as a dark-skinned, bisexual, Black woman, I never felt like I had the freedom to be all things. And when I say that, I mean like I survived my environment. I survived a lot of statistics against me. And I don't care what y'all think of me. I'm going to be who I am, how I am, even if it's narcissistic or whatever you think, I'm going to be me. I'm all alone on the deep, dark web. Me and my phone in this queen-size bed. I'm looking at my pillow look back at me. My thumb is over the screen. The other is in my jeans. It took a second to soak. My fingers inside my throat. I paused and then I choked to think about it some more. Connection is moving slow. My brightness is on the low. I'm reaching for the remote. Then my mama busts through the door. Doechii, you forgot to take the chicken out. Doechii, you forgot to take the chicken out. As I'm going through this dialect and I'm talking to myself through all of these lyrics, I see myself in my room when I was like younger. So I'm just painting this picture of like me in my room, basically masturbating. And then my mom is busting through the door and she's busting through the door asking me why I didn't take the chicken out, which is some real shit. I fuck with Junie B. Barbara was my idol, had to wear my attitude to every dance recital. Junie B. Jones is the hardest, most influential character, period. She was so feisty and so smart and so funny. I read all of her books. Love Barbara. I'm low-key aggressive. Like, I'm aggressive when I flirt. I'm aggressive just in a lot of different ways. And it's because of Junie B. Jones and her feistiness, and I love her. So I had to give her the shout out. In my black Taylor Chucks, the ones that laced up to my thighs, Lisa Frank lipstick on my eyes, weird girl activity, black bitch nativity, spy girl erotica, bucket hat from Nautica, click throbbing, I start sobbing watching Narnia. My favorite movie growing up to watch with my family was Narnia. I just always thought it was a beautiful story with a really cool motif. And the idea of them being in the real world and then using their imaginations to escape into this wonderland and going through all these trials and tribulations was just like so trippy to me and so beautiful. In the end, when the lion dies, oh my gosh, it gets me every time. So I had to, another memory that I just had to shout out. I've been winning trophies since Fear Factor. I was earning medals the same grade you basic bitches learn how to use protractors. Foot been on their necks before chiropractor. But I gave all the Game Boys cooties. This is a huge flex. At the time, my mom had me signed up for every sport you could imagine. I was living in the hood at the time. And so my mom just wanted to keep her children productive so that we had something to do, so that I didn't get into things that I shouldn't have been into. So I was in cheerleading. I was on the step team. I was doing like tetherball. I was in spelling bees, ballet, you name it. I was in the band. Like, I have done every sport you can think of down to frisbee, soccer, basketball, swimming, gymnastics, everything. And I was excelling. Like, I started pouring out all of my frustrations and everything that I had going on inside into the crafts that I was involved in. And so that's basically me just saying, like, at the same age that y'all was just learning how to use a protractor, I was already earning medals. What's good? Most of y'all are the type of kids I'd hate. If I was the monster under your beds, you'd be the kids I'd ate. If I was the man your mom fucked, I'd fuck her right in your face and take you and your siblings on a Domino's pizza day. Damn. So at this point in the song, I'm getting hella aggressive because I was just starting to like think about, you know, how people treated me. And I started becoming like really thinking about my past. I started becoming really proud of who I was, like through this song again. I started like, basically, I'm giving myself props to my inner child, like now. And so I'm basically saying a lot of y'all who you are today as an adult, I wouldn't have even fucked with you when you were younger, probably still wouldn't today. And if I was the monster under your bed when you were a jit, I would have ate you. And guess what? Your mom, I would have dated her and took you on a pizza date afterwards. Like, I'm just talking shit. Gen X baby going crazy with the cam. Back when I was rhyming on my green eggs and ham. Editing my pictures with the Microsoft filters. I was making trillers way before they called them trillers. I am a digital baby. I was always super creative on the computer. When we just had like picture or just art to work with, I was like always making different types of art. I was on PixArt. I love coding on MySpace. And when I said I was making trillers way before they called them trillers, I would literally make like these videos with my digital camera and I would collage them and do them to songs. Like the things that people are doing right now on the internet today that are popular, I was already doing those in a really early stage, just out of boredom and creativity. 6th grade, every nigga pressured me to fuck while y'all was giving it up. I was serving looks. Middle schoolers are the meanest people on the planet. I felt so pressured to be a certain way, to act a certain way. A lot of guys at that time made me feel bad about not being involved in sexual activities. My mom would always tell me like, while everybody else is doing this, you're working on your craft and you're gonna be in a different place at a different age because you're focused on different things. I never felt a need to grow up too early. So that was basically me just having my own way of flexing and saying, while y'all was out there hunching, I was pouring into my craft. Custom made drip with the pastry couture. Selling silly bands from my desk to my drawer. Selling silly bands was actually my first hustle. I had the really cool kind, like exclusive shapes and colors. I had the glitter, the glow in the dark. People would come to my desk in first period, get your silly bands, get out of here, go. Singing karaoke while my mom was at the store. Scared that she would walk in on me singing Paramore. While y'all was sticking house keys in motherfucking sockets. I was stuffing all your lunch monies in my pockets. Growing up in a Christian household, I just wasn't allowed to listen to secular music. And I was also just really nervous about my mom hearing me sing in general. My family, once they saw that I had a lick of talent in me, every time they see me sing, do the dance, do this, do the And I was so like, I was still shy at the time. So I would just sneak and listen to Paramore and I didn't want my mom to know about it. Please stop it. I'm meant to blow up like the white things and soda rockets. Talking back to my teachers, I'm out of pocket. I wrote the song one way originally and then I went back bar for bar and I just challenged myself on how I could say it in a more interesting way. You drop a Mento in the soda and it blows up. And then mint two Mentos. I don't even know is that a double entendre? No, it's not. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. When it came to me, I was like, oh my God. I was like, whoa, stop fucking playing with me. I got so aggressive. I was like punching walls, like stop, bro. Got so much shit on my chest, yo, I need to drop it. Dribbling inside my journal, kiss my locket, let the paper soak my tears up, ultra charming. Those last few lines connect with me and freed me in so many ways because I'm literally saying, I have to let this out. I have to let these words out, these concepts out, not even just this song, but future things to come. I have to let this project out. I have to heal my inner child and let these memories and take this aggression and put it somewhere so that I can let it go. My evolution, just me growing and being vulnerable and honest in my songwriting is literally healing me. I really think of myself as a literal vessel and a mirror that's just reflecting other people. You're looking at you when you look at me. I'm looking at you when I look at me. Ooh, I need to let it out. I gotta let it out. Uninvited and I'm undercover. Undivided, undiscovered. Uninvited and I'm undercover. But I never liked them. Forever fuck them. These lines right here is just me accepting and embracing not being accepted or embraced, and freeing myself of the need to be validated by anything or anyone else other than myself. At the end of the day, when I accepted that, I realized that I was just trying to be accepted by a bunch of people that I don't even think are that dope anyway. Once I realized that, weight off my shoulders. I saw the trans community using the TikTok. I was like, wow, this is more than just like a coming of age or people showing their high school transformations. This is like people showing their transformations coming into who they are, just like I did. So that really inspired me a lot.